Bang! Neevesknives. I'm
Jared
Jared,
propositioned me.
and we are live, ladies and gentlemen, live on Neevesknives Live. And we are with Mike Emler, my good friend Mike, over at Crazy Sharp. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Whoa! Sorry, guys. We have some really cool topics we're going to talk about. I don't have none of them written down, but we got a couple controversial topics we're going to talk about. And, we're going to shoot the crap and see where it goes. First one we're going to talk about really quick is the companies that were making not clones and not what you would call counterfeits, but copies,
Clones,
right?
copies. Yeah.
Copies, right? They were copying designs, maybe changing the locking mechanism and
I
changing
didn't know we were
things
going to
around.
get
But
into
either
this
way,
one.
you could tell, like Ganzos, right? Ganzos
Yeah.
we're making the copies.
I have one. I have one of the autos that's in a drawer, and I use it for cutting. I use it for cutting like sandpaper and stuff. It is 100% a ProTech. It's a fucking ProTech. You can't tell me it's not. It is dollars to donuts. Right. It is exactly the same knife.
Well, if they stop doing the copies, right? Say they sell off all the stuff that they did and they start doing their own designs in-house or having designers, can they redeem themselves over time?
That's I've talked about it in a video, and you and I were talking about this. This was not something that we just came up. I told you I kind of wanted to talk about this.
No, that's where I got it from. Was from you.
Yeah, people are like, oh, Mike's an apologist for Kaiser because they apparently in the past Kaiser had stolen designs. They didn't treat their designers well.
I never knew them.
I didn't either. And same thing, like people say that about Kubi.
I never knew when Kubi did it either.
I didn't either. Right. But like I did honestly see Ganzo basically making one-for-one knockoffs. They were exactly the same knife. I look at it the same way. Like, I don't believe in cancel culture. If you're making counterfeits and knockoffs, I'm going to call you out and I'm going to call you a piece of shit. But if you stop and you start hiring actual designers and doing stuff the right way, I'm all about a redemption arc. Everybody has a chance to redeem themselves. I've said stuff in the past that I'm not proud of.
Right.
I don't think that I should be. But here's the thing with me is I don't fucking care. Like, if I said something that you don't like, I don't care.
Well, but I think there's a time and place like where you could maybe like look back at it and be like, I probably shouldn't have acted that way or went at it that way or something like that. And you can be like, not necessarily an apology, but that you understand like that you were probably in the wrong and probably wasn't right. And I'd love to hear the chat talk about this too if you guys have an opinion on the subject. I like to think that if a company is doing the right thing, right, then they should be praised for doing the right thing, right? Yeah. Do you want to ostracize them when they do start doing the right thing? So then all of a sudden, what are they going to do? Go back to doing knockoffs? Like, well, and why wouldn't you just praise them for doing the right thing?
The flip side is like everybody talks about this, but they don't think about it like when it pertains to knives. Is Chinese companies for years have knocked off because there is no copyright protection really. It's gotten better. There's copyright protection, intellectual arts rights protection in China now that there didn't used to be. But the fact was that was just the way you did business. And then they got into knife community. And I think they realized they're like, hang on a second.
This don't work here.
This doesn't work. People are calling us out and we're not going to be able to succeed at this, except maybe to sell a few of them on eBay, which really people have shied away from that as well. I don't trust buying anything on eBay really.
This one, I want to be a part or live than any other one. My two favorite tubers, and I have to work meetings. I'm so pissed. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well,
don't worry,
I'm glad to hear now, but I understand work is work. But I do appreciate the kind words. And for
Lacey, you'll be able to watch it later, and I'm going to be live. I'm probably going to be live after this. I am already drinking a little bit of whiskey in my coffee, though. It's been a rough couple of days. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, me too. It's definitely been rough for me for the past couple of days, but with the subject though, I personally like when it comes to actual counterfeits, I don't want nothing to do with them. Like counterfeit wise, like if it's an actual thing trying to knock off and act like the design, nothing to do with them. Now, if it's a design inspired, I don't have no problem with design inspired, especially when they come out and say like this design, because usually they tell the makers or whatever, or like say, like Bearded Gear with his knife design. He said, it was inspired by the Koenigarius and the Paris, the Spydercos. So I think that's awesome. And it's, I'm not that it's difficult, but I think it's impossible to make a knife design right now where there's no type of inspiration from somewhere. Like,
well, look at that what was that, the Warnhawk, or the Warntack that you had here not too long ago. Dude, lay that next to my sea snake.
Right.
Like I had a bunch of it, and I told Russell over it at first, my first blush when I saw that, I was like, that's a little closer than I like. And he was like, do you want me to talk to QSP? And I haven't responded back to it. Yeah. I mean, if I was going to make a folding sea snake, that's what it is. That's it. That's the
He does have some, by the way, guys, he has a bunch of changes going on. There is a second prototype coming. Since this is a folder, like, to me, I couldn't personally consider that because one's a fixed blade, one's a folder, but I understand what you mean, like what yours would look like, but it's hard to say that when he's already done it with a folder.
Well, I've already been working on it.
And it's a Wharncliffe. There's a lot of Wharncliffes out there. Oh, we got a new member.
Yeah.
Dennis, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I saw that. I was going to tell you.
That's awesome, man. Thank you, man.
One of the other things I was going to talk about is
we got a giveaway.
John Grimsmo, when he started making this knife, he definitely told everyone that this was based on a knife, and he let the other maker know. A lot of people are like, oh, he's not going to. He didn't. He let the other maker know that it was inspired by it. It's enough different, but he definitely, this was inspired very, very much by another. I can't remember who it was, by another maker's. A lot of OEMs have.
A lot of OEMs have it contract that they can copy designs after so many years, at least. So that's what I've heard. Maybe, probably after, like, if they have a patent, then if the patent's over,
maybe if you're licensing as a design to them, maybe. But I think if it's OEM, that's your product. OEM is
if that's what he meant. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say OEM. No. If you're licensing a design, maybe, but I don't think like OEM, because that's your.
If he calls it the land snake, then maybe on issue.
It's a trouser snake.
Woman Carry Knives. Shout out to Woman Carry Knives and Therapeutic Edge. Definitely go and follow Woman Carry Knives and Therapeutic Edge. Awesome couple. Awesome part of the community.
I was looking at
Mr. Designs in the house. What's up, bud?
You had one up here that I saw, and I was just going to read. It's like Q1 Fiend said, truth be told, I would guess most Ganzo buyers don't know those knives are copies or heavily influenced by other knives. That's true as well.
But I think, well, at least if they're part of the community, which he's probably talking about the people that are not, which are probably the majority, but the people that are a part of the community, they all know if they watch videos, because everybody makes sure they say it. But I know what you mean, because probably 80% of the buyers probably are not part of the community.
Yeah.
Definitely go and follow Mr. Designs and see what he's doing. He's got some awesome designs coming out, and you're going to want to stay tuned with everything he's doing.
Got to meet him Blade Show West. We had I think I met him before, but we talked at Blade Show West. It's pretty fun getting to meet Mr. Designs.
Drive safe. Yeah, I'm hopefully going to be meeting. Well, I will be meeting him here at Blade Show in Atlanta. What does this say? Well, we'll just have a damn meeting, and I have to host in 10 minutes. Well, good luck. Good luck on the meeting. Hopefully everything goes well. So I think with, like, say, like Kubi, right? I never, I heard other people saying that, but I never seen them.
That just seems to
do
be
anything with a copy, anything. Every time I ever was, like in the community, it was always their own designs, and you could tell. And like, I remember somebody saying, like, this one design was an 0450 copy. And, like, to me, like, that's where I thought they were getting it from. And it's like, that's ridiculous if you think that.
Yeah. Because well, the other one, people are talking about the 322, that big broad motherfucker it has a blade that's similar to the Aries.
Right. Yeah, it looks like going to Aries knockoff.
It's sort of, and I'm like, I really don't see it. It has some similarities, but then again, at this point, but like so many knives have similarities.
With every knife, there's going to be some similarities. There's going to be something. You can grab any knife, and you can look around hard enough, and you're going to find something.
Look at the Ferrum Forge. Like, people are like, oh well, this and that. And I was like, if you take a look at the Ferrum Forge Archbishop and take a look at the Arius, They're very similar. And guess what? The Archbishop's been around a lot fucking longer.
Right.
Breeze Ratchford. What's up, buddy?
Breeze, what's up, Breeze? Yeah, with Kubi though, I think especially the past year, man, they are knocking it out of the park, man. They are just killing it left and right. Their budget knives, I got a new one here. And then I bought, I don't know, a few knives from them.
Yeah.
And I got one that showed up that I'm going to do a first impressions on, but I didn't realize one of them, man, I must have bought from their overseas company instead of their US, because they have US manufacturing. So you can easily, every time you buy them, they come from here. But I must have bought one from overseas by accident. So it's like, fuck, now I'm going to have to wait a month. But
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, they're fit, finish, and everything, man. They're knocking it out of the park. It's amazing how good, like you were talking about the action.
The 344. The Kubi 344, the one that Sharif Manganis bought.
Yeah, I got that one. That's one of the ones I picked up.
Bro, he sent one to me. I put all my knives in my case. There's some $1,000 knives in that case. And I put that knife in the case because that's where it was at. And it beat all of the other knives in my case for smoothness of action. And like I said, just because it's fall shut doesn't mean it's smooth. That's like, can I feel anything? There's like nothing in that.
Agreed.
Nothing.
I think, but see, I separate it all. So there's guillotine action, which is where it just slaps shut. There's fall shutty action. Then there's like the washer action, which is smooth. That's like that's different though. That's where it's frictionless. You don't feel the balls rolling or
and that's
that. Then there's like the super glassy smoothness. So I like to, when I relate it over to the people watching, I like to hopefully capture them in that moment and understand exactly what I'm feeling if I can.
Well,
that's not always possible, but
that's what I did. Like I was explaining, like, okay, this knife is drop shut, but it's not as smooth as that Kubi. The Kubi is drop shut as well. But when I would move it, I could feel the bearings rolling on
because
the
there's bearings.
And I was like, well, the Kubi has bearings.
Some do and some don't. You don't. Yeah, right. Some you don't.
And I'm like, sometimes you don't feel it, and that Kubi. But the flip side of that too is some of those really expensive knives have gotten smoother over time, and some of the budget knives have lost some of that original smoothness.
Right.
And it's just going to happen. Like my Norseman is still this smooth. Like it wasn't fair. That's why I didn't put it in. I was like, there's no way I can't compare
sometimes
this.
It's not going to be fair.
Yeah, it's just not fair.
Everything looks a little bit like everything at this point. It's impossible not to with as many designs as there are. Right. There's only so many blade shapes that'll work for human use, right? And there's only so many handles that'll work for human hands. So
at this point, like we're at the point where every knife, like I think all the knife designs have been used up pretty much. There's not much except maybe some flourishes until somebody comes up with that moment, that break moment where they come up with a new locking device or and everybody's like, oh, well, they've done that, the axis lock. And I'm like, no, the axis lock is just a change to the back lock. And everybody's like, well, liner lock. I'm like, nope, that's a frame lock inside. They're all the same. And until someone comes up with some new and unique locking mechanism, then pretty much it's going to probably be a Gavin Hawk, but their shit is so complicated that you're like,
I was going to say Gavin Hawk's had some pretty interesting designs that I find fascinating.
They're fascinating, but a lot of times when I see them, I was like, yeah, that's really cool, but that's not what I want in a knife. I'm going to always go back to liner lock, frame lock, maybe sliding bar lock or a butt lock.
Yeah, Denise, I would never cancel anybody or kick anybody out. So if something happens, it would definitely be on your end or YouTube's end. You would know if I did it. If I did it, I will come right to you and let you know.
They should sit.
Mike doesn't have human hands, so we can keep designing for him.
Did you see the live I did with Cole the other night? And he was like, we were talking about like the difference in size, and he was like, I've got my Mordax right here, and there was handles sticking out on either side, and I was like, bro. And I reached down in my case, I was like, I have my Mordax in my hand. And he goes, no, you don't. I was like, yes, they do. He goes, Jesus, because like you don't understand. Like I tell people, I've got triple XL gloves, but when you see like a knife in a normal size hand,
right,
and then a knife in my hand, like the same thing happened with Alex Steingraber with his shark. I sent him a link to the video. With a timestamp, and it was like he was like, oh man, thanks for the kind words about the knife. And he's like, also, Jesus, how big are your fucking hands? Because it's his knife, so he knows what it looks like in his hands. He was like, he's like, I thought you were joking about how big your hands were.
Yeah, sometimes also when you're the person watching the video, like, especially if you haven't seen the channel before, so you might not know, you get a bad perception of how large a knife is depending on who's holding it or even the angle they're holding it. And
Yeah,
yeah, the
that's true.
KU322 is awesome. The 321 is awesome. Basically, all of them new Kubies are great. I got one of their premium ones with the big thumb studs.
Yeah.
I'm loving it, and I thought that thing was ugly before I got it.
I thought I had my 344 sitting here, but it's not.
Sharp Thought says he's out of here now. He's seen you were here.
Oh,
Just
shit.
kidding.
Sorry.
He says, "Good evening, Mike. Did you get a new debit card or something?" He's talking to him. Yeah, yeah, that could possibly happen. I don't know.
So Walt Gilbert, who's one of my paying members, he said that like he's having a real hard time. Like he can't drop super chats. He keeps getting kicked out of the membership, and he's like, I don't know what the fuck it is. And I've got a couple people that just can't join. I've got 2 people that have been trying to join my membership for months, and they're like, dude, I keep trying occasionally, it just won't let me do it.
Huh. That's weird. Interesting. Yeah, Breeze, I know I've seen you kind of in and out here and there. I figured you were just busy. I know I heard of something with your old man down south and shit with a house and stuff. So I didn't know if you were busy doing that. Richie B and Lindy Lou, what's going on, guys? Definitely you guys better be following Knife Modders, Richie B and Lindy Lou. Awesome channel. They do lives on Monday nights. Sometimes on Tuesdays, I think, but usually on Monday nights. But follow the channel and keep up with what they're doing. You definitely don't want to
I saw they were doing a live. I saw they were doing a live last night before. I can't remember. And I tried to drop. I was just too busy. I had so much other stuff.
Yes, Towns Tools. This is live. You are here in the live. Shout out to Towns Tools.
So I wanted to talk to you about. So I mean, we kind of talked about it this morning, and I don't think I got a chance to tell you because I had to go because I was picking the kid up from ice skating. So we were talking about the.
Bree says, "Who would want to join a Mike Emler's membership?"
Please, eventually, we're going to meet someday, and I'll tell you what. I'll teach you what a country ass whooping feels like.
Oh, sorry. Tuesdays at 7:30 Pacific.
Tuesdays.
Time.
That's what it was.
My mistake.
I was going to jump in, but I had so much stuff going on. I was like, yeah, I can't jump in. But so we were talking about this morning. I was going to say, so you did your video about like the whole thing with people saying you're buying views and shit. And I did something about it on a live feed. And I'll tell you what, like anybody that asks, I will say it right now in your live feed. I followed the shit you're telling me, and while it has not had like a rapid effect, I definitely have seen I went from 6. You remember when we did the giveaway and we got all the subscribers and we dropped? I went from like 6,000 subscribers to 7,000 subscribers in a month, just doing what you were saying. So like I'm over 7,000 now.
Yeah.
So in a month, I got 1,000 subscribers, and I've gotten like almost 200 just this week. And I'm like, you know what? I might not be seeing like the drastic increase in views, and I get my head wrapped around it. I want to tell you that. So I mean, like I get my head wrapped around the views sometimes, but I have definitely seen a very marked increase in how the shorts are affecting and driving members.
Sometimes it's in short spurts, and it's going to be a wave. It's going to go back down. It'll go up, just like mine. Mine are right now are way down, of course, and that's I know that is going to happen, so it's expected. So now my plan is, to have my ups go back up. So like I said, you just don't want it to do this, go down, and you don't want it to go a straight line over. You want it to go like this going up. So
mine went up, and it's kind of steadied out at about. So I mean, even though it's kind of steadied out, and I'm looking at like that, because I was at 192% of where I was 28 days before. And now I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, I'm just back down to 133. What I'm taking into account is it's that graph is moving over.
Yeah.
And so now that's my average.
You have to pay attention to that. Yeah.
So my graph's moving over. And now my average, because now my average is double. Like my average now is almost double what it was a month ago. But a lot of that's because now I'm putting up 2 videos a day and a short at lunchtime.
More content will always help. Yeah, more content will always help, but just know that there's always the ups and downs. So the point is to stay consistent with the things that are working, and you won't see it right away working. So you have to continue doing it and
that's
give
not
it an
true because you kind of
opportunity
do.
to affect the algorithm. It never affects it from just trying it. It affects it from doing it over time. And next subject I want to talk about, and hopefully you could shed light in the places I leave out in the comment section. You guys
all right, bend over and spread them. I got a flashlight.
You guys probably know a little bit about this subject, maybe even more than I do. But right now, there's a little bit going on with Brian with Transparent Knives and Rick Hinder.
Oh yeah, I've heard a little bit about this in a DM.
By the
way, Towns Tools, this is live. By the way, Towns Tools.
Yes, Towns Tools. Yes, this is live. Tommy McDonald, what's up, brother? So the thing is that Brian had a Hinder knife that I don't know if it came in or if it was his, but the tip broke on it.
Yeah.
And there was like a thing about what the HRC was, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Well, he wound up testing it and it wound up coming back a little bit on the soft side. I think it was 57.8 or 58.2, something like that. I don't want to lie. So you guys can go watch his videos.
Was it on 20 CV? 20 CV or was it something else?
On 20 CV, yes. On 20 CV. So it was a bit under 60. And I guess Rick Hinder came back and made some comments that weren't so nice to him, kind of insulting him, whether or not he knew what he was doing or knew what he was talking about and things like that, which I don't agree with is the right way to go about it. I think the best way, and this is my opinion, and I want you guys to speak on it too, Brian knows a lot about heat treating and grinds and everything. And remember, and I'm taking this from him because I'm the same way, and I know he said the same thing. The only reason why he even talks about it or brings up or says anything is because he likes Hinder knives. He likes it. So when you see a company, right, that you actually love and you see them doing something that you would love to see improved, obviously you're going to say something because you love them. You want to see them improved. If it's a company you don't give a shit about, you don't care to talk about it,
Well, and that's kind of, did you see that video that came out with one of his employees that was talking about, they said that the screw was broke and they said it was off center and they said it wasn't sharp. And I saw this, and originally it was a video that was sent. It was a video that was sent from YouTube directly to the person in question that they were speaking about. And it was like Rick's manager or his floor manager or something. And he was showing, he was like, there's nothing wrong with this knife. It's not off center and it's sharp and he's trying to cut paper. And I was like, bro, like I make knives and I sharpen knives for a fucking living. And that's not a sharp knife. You can say that I don't know how to cut paper. I'm not good at it. If it was sharp, it would have nothing to do with how good you are at cutting paper. It would have cut the paper.
All right.
But that was kind of shitty to do. And then the person that it was sent to released it on YouTube. So I like Rick. I love Rick. He's a great dude. He's from Ohio, just like me. He's got great knives, in my opinion. They're not for me. Most of the time, they're too thick and things like that. But when you start doing that, then you run into that whole thing where you basically shit on your entire customer base. And you don't want to do that.
Right. Well, what I said, I left a comment and I said, Rick, don't do this. I said, man, just be humble, apologize for insulting the man, and have a conversation with them. Have a conversation with them, because what it does is it makes you look like you think that you're above criticism, which you're not. Nobody
likes criticism.
Nobody.
Like I went through a really bad spell here a few years ago, and I cut ties with Super Steel Steve like 3 or 4 years ago, and I just reestablished that relationship. I like Steve, but at that time, I had some undiagnosed PTSD, and I was not in the mood for criticism from anyone. Right. And I reached out to him and I apologized. I was like, hey man, it's you can't say that. You can't say that you maybe spoke to a douchebag, Sunburn Bradley. You maybe had don't forget, Rick is one person at a company. His company's big enough. He now has employees. You might've just dealt with someone that he shouldn't have.
Yeah, one of his employees. Yeah, you could have. Or maybe you dealt with him. Who knows?
Yeah. But like I said, everybody has that day where somebody just says something and it's the wrong day. And for me, it was for like an entire year. And I cut ties with Super Steel Steve. And now I've apologized. And the big thing, there's a quote, be humble, sit down, shut up. That's sometimes you just have to do that. And I told Steve that, and I apologized. We talk on Instagram pretty regular now. I'm just afraid to have him on my live feed because, well, I don't need a community strike.
Thank you, John. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. That's awesome, man. Thank you. I appreciate everybody who's had my back throughout all this. You know, I trust me, guys. I know things are going to be said and everything. So I have no problems with people talking shit. Don't care. It doesn't bother me one bit. I'm just going to keep grinding. But sometimes when it's certain people, I have to address it right away. You know?
Yeah. Well, you got to have thick skin, especially as ugly as you are. Like
truth in knife making is important. Yeah, you do have to, and I do, and I don't mind that. I deal with
you're like sideshow ugly, like,
and it's not that I was upset. It's that I wanted to address it before it became a thing. Yeah, but yeah, you're right. The truth in knife making is very important, and being honest with everything you do, that's very, very important, because the community doesn't forget.
Yeah.
That shit was so funny, but just simply epic. I know who Brian is, but who the fuck is Rick Rinder or Hinder? Rick Hinder. Yes, just in case if you're actually not if you're actually talking shit or not, Rick Hinder Knives.
I don't like that
one. Assume that you're just joking.
I don't like that blade shape. I like the
one. Man, I love it.
I don't that one you sent me. That 3.5 non-flipper XM18.
Oh, this is the skinny too. The skinny.
Yeah, I mean, maybe okay, I'll tell you what. You've sent me a couple. You've sent me a couple knives that at first blush, like when they came out of the box, I'm not gonna like this. The TRM Shadow. What I was like, I don't know
about this blade shape though.
I just don't.
Oh, there goes Mike. Oh, we lost Mike, guys. We lost Mike. I'm fucking with you. I love this blade.
I'm gonna shit in that box of knives I sent back.
How can you not like a good sheep's foot blade? The tip goes down. It's got a little bit of belly.
If I'm gonna have a sheep's foot or Wharncliffe, I want it to be a lot straighter than that. That's not really.
Is it the look, or is it the that you don't like? We're gonna get back to that subject, guys.
I mean, it's basically so that's basically just a drop point that they knock the tip off of. That's not like an actual sheep's foot.
No, to me, this is a perfect sheep's foot, because I love the rapid taper, but it doesn't have a corner. I kind of like that. Personally, for me, I just feel like I got a lot of leverage through the tip. It's got that little tiny bit of belly. I don't need a lot of belly. So I like a little.
That's got a lot of belly. That's got way more belly than my.
No,
all right, here, let me show you what a sheep's foot looks like.
Let me show you. It's perfect. Just like I can grab what is it? The Kershaw bare knuckle. That's another great example. See, to me, that's a Wharncliffe. It's a straight edge.
This is not a Wharncliffe. Wharncliffes are stretched and more tapered. My knife is a Wharncliffe.
The spine is not a Wharncliffe, but the edge is.
On that?
No, on that. Because the edge is straight.
This is every sheep's foot sailor's knife I ever had was like this. It wasn't a Wharncliffe. This is sheep's foot. Sheep's foot have got a more piercing tip. They come down a lot more drastically. This is more of a sheep's foot than that is.
Sheep's foot blades from the original design had a little tiny bit of lift, not a perfectly straight edge. While some probably did have straight edge. I'm not saying none, but the Wharncliffe
they're from the same
edge. But the spine though is universal. Like with the spine of a Wharncliffe, it's a one slow taper, like your knife, right? Like your blade, right? That's a perfect example of a Wharncliffe.
Yeah.
And then like
that's what I'm saying. It's a constant taper. A sheep's foot,
though, that's when it becomes usually a sheep's foot. But like I said, when you have the straight edge, that's when it's universal. Let's get back to this Rick Hinder thing, because there's a lot of comments. All right, Brian absolutely crushed it with this proof. I agree, and I hate that it has to be that. I'm
gonna have to find it. Did he do it? What was
he did the steel?
Yeah, but where? I'm just saying, where did he do it? Like, is it on YouTube Instagram that I can find it? I did it on Instagram.
Yeah, it's his like 3 last.
I don't fuck Instagram. I don't go on Instagram very much.
58.9 is what it wound up being on his hardness tester. So there were people making comments, I guess, saying like that, oh, the handle is gonna mess with the thing, and he took off the handle and did it, and it was the exact same. So but yeah, it's sad, because like I said, I would love to see Rick just be humble about it and not make assumptions towards Brian, because the community knows Brian and knows how critical he is over himself. Brian is like the most critical person over his work and just his morals and everything. So like when people know that about him and then they see somebody criticizing
he's doing
him,
small batch,
makes them
small batch heat treat. He's doing small batch heat treats, which means that his heat treat, he knows more. Like I don't want to talk bad about Rick. Rick,
no,
maybe
me neither. I
I
like Hinder knives.
Like maybe back in the day when Rick was doing one knife at a time, he knew what his heat treat was.
Well, and
but
he
like,
still does. He still does his fixed blades and stuff. He still does one off,
I
or
know,
I don't know about one
I'm
off,
just
but
saying,
he
but
does small
he's
batches.
not doing the heat treat. He's not doing the heat treat.
No,
on
Peters is. Peters is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like, I don't understand why he's getting so upset, because I know he's not doing his in-house heat treat on those knives. So if anybody has something to be upset about, it would be Peter's heat treat. So Rick needs to talk to Peters. Rick should have just came out and said, hey, maybe this one got fucked up. Who knows? Big batch heat treat, it's not as consistent as like doing 3 or 4 knives at a time. You and I have talked about that before on the phone.
Yes. And you know what? And I did not see, and I want to make this known right now, I did not read Rick's response. I heard Rick's response from Brian, from what he said about it. So I'm not jumping in conclusions. He might have said that. I do not want to say what he said or did not say. I'm just, kind of saying what I seen on Brian's channel.
Yeah. Well, and then somebody said that Rick's goons were being racist. I don't know if that's the fact, because somebody told me that happened.
That could have been a troll.
That could have been someone that was trolling, because that happens. That's why, like,
that people happens talk about in here.
And people talk about, oh, Mike Emler, he censors his comment section. No, I just removed the ability to put in profanity in the comments, because I don't want to have to spend my entire live feed taking stuff and dealing with all the stuff in the comment section. I would much rather just be able to deal with my guest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would definitely have to buy one of those, Colton.
Mike, you can find it on Knife Modders Live Repay, but you can't read it.
Yoda says, hey, Shark. Hinders are totally douchebags. They called me a liar over a sticker. Yeah, we read that one. Yeah, like he said, though, that could be the workers or employees.
It could be, or it could have just been a bot, because people like to just go into a live feed and drop shit and see what happens.
Yeah, and like I said, and like he just said, it's hard to say that was his goons that did that. I'm not saying it wasn't anything like that, but you got to understand, in lives, people come in and people do ridiculous shit. We don't always see it. I've had it many times in here where people afterwards will tell me, hey, did you know so-and-so was in there talking all this shit or whatever. We've even had people hack people's, not accounts, but like their thumbnails and stuff. They've done it to me, went on other people's shit talking. So you got to be careful saying what happened in a live, because it's happened on
my videos, because stuff like that. And I'm like, it happens. People will test the waters and see, like, oh, is this guy, like, they'll try and drop like an F-bomb or something in the comments. And if it doesn't automatically block it, they're like, oh, game on. He doesn't have that filter set up for profanity. I'm going to drop crazy shit because I'm bored.
No, I had a guy the other day, and this goes on to what Colton's saying, because, above criticism, he says only God is because he's ahead of the curve. I had somebody the other day, and, like I was saying, that I would love to see Rick just be humble about it, because I'd hate for him to look like he seems like he thinks that he's above criticism, which he's not. And I'm not saying he thinks that at all, but I'd hate for that to appear that way. Yeah. But the other day, somebody left a comment on one of my sharpening things, and it wasn't that what they were trying to tell me that I should do or anything like that. I didn't care about that. Like, that's awesome. But then they left a comment like, I would tell you this, but you always act like a baby and act like that you do everything perfect and can't do anything wrong. And I just responded like, I don't know whose channel you think you're talking to, but it's not me, because I never act like that. Like, I'm always open to constructive criticism. I said, of course, there's times when people I know literally have no idea what they're talking about, and they're trying to school me on something when they don't know what they're talking about, and they just showed up to a knife channel out of nowhere and heard something from their grandpa 10 years ago and are not part of the community. Yeah, in that case, I'm not going to take their advice, right?
Yeah.
But when I can tell it's logical advice and the person seems like they know what they're talking about, I'm open ears always. Even if I don't agree with it, I'm still going to listen to it, because I'm always open to criticism.
So Richie, was established IG accounts were saying racist shit. We were watching. It was on the US made blades. It was a live stream. Was that an Instagram live stream, Richie?
Yeah.
Oh yes. Okay. You won't be able to find the comments. I'm just kidding.
You can go and look at the videos. If you go on Transparent Knives channel, you can actually watch his videos on here. They're still up.
I know, but I'm talking about the racist stuff.
Hinder or Medford?
Oh, that's a rough one. I'm not going to talk about Greg Medford anymore. He lives rent free in my brain too much. He does incredible machining. He's just, he might be a little bipolar. That's all.
I've never met either one. It's hard for me to actually say. You could flip a coin for me.
I don't know.
I'm going to say Medford just because I know more about him than Rick Hinder. I'd love to know more about Rick Hinder, but I haven't seen a lot of videos of him talking and really felt like I've built somewhat of a relationship with him through the videos.
Oh, see, I've met him in person.
I feel like I have to some small extent.
I've met them both in person and had like detailed, lengthy conversation with them. And I would honestly take Rick over Greg because Greg, you never know what you're going to get with Greg. Sometimes Greg is having a good day. Sometimes you have a bad day. And when Greg has a bad day,
that's everybody.
But Rick at least is like, Rick's like, yeah, I'm having a crappy day. And you really can't tell. When Greg's having a bad day, you can tell because his handlers take him out of the show. And they're like, yeah, you got to get him out of here. He's going to alienate every one of the customers.
We all can learn from each other. Yes. Absolutely. Nobody, you can learn from anybody, like literally even a child. I'll never buy another Hinder again. Only bought one because I thought they were good, but mine had ridiculous detent lash and apparently it wasn't covered under warranty. My opinion. What? Detent lash wasn't covered on. See, I've never had detent lash on a Hinder, but I would think that all companies cover that. I'm not saying you're lying or anything. I'm saying that's fucked up.
Breeze. Breeze. If you took Mike Emler's face, dyed his beard neon color, flipped it upside down, that'd look like a troll. Like one of the pencil toppers. You remember the pencil toppers when we were kids?
Kyle says, "Oh boy," or Ohio boy, or not. Treat customers like you want to be treated.
Yeah, I saw that.
If you had issues with Brian's comments, go to him like a man and discuss. Yes, I 100% agree. Discuss it, not hide behind the group. Yes, I 100% agree. And that's what I mean. Go have a conversation with him because Brian's awesome. He's easy to talk to. I guarantee like that would be an awesome conversation.
I'm going to try and get him on. I'm going to try and get him on my live feed.
Oh, like, dude, he's great, man.
I've seen these other videos. I've seen other videos he did with him. And I was like, dude, I think he'd be a lot of fun, but like, it's gotta be like, it has to be the right time. Like I've got it. Like, I'm afraid that would go sideways real quick. I mean, I think we both have like ADHD and I'm pretty sure that live feed would just go nuts.
Well, I think he's got so much knowledge. I think that, he's got so much that he's just like an abundance of knowledge, especially when talking about grinding heat treats and things like that. So to me, like I want to absorb it, you know? Do you have short-term memory? You might like this channel. You'll watch it and forget how terrible it was. Try it, find out. Find There's a link to Mike Emler's channel. Go and follow it.
Thanks, Breeze. Thanks, Breeze. Here's the thing. Like people are like, oh, fuck, Mike Emler can't take criticism. Mike Emler can't take a joke. Like that's hilarious. Like, what I get upset is like, I get upset with like,
so much better when they can do that. When they can take criticism and take jokes. That's what this fucking world's about.
That's criticism and that's jokes. But then there's stuff that people do that's just mean spirited. And I'm like, at this point, I'm 47 years old. I'm like at the point where I don't have time for that. If you're just going to try and be mean spirited, I don't have time for that, and I'll block you. So
yeah, I think there's a thin line though between joking and like to me, I don't like if it's mean spirited. I can handle it for a little while, especially if I think it's a joke.
If it's towards me,
if I think it's a joke, you know, like if it's towards me and I think it's a joke, I'll handle it forever, right?
But if you're doing it to one of my paying members,
that's when we start crossing the line.
If you're doing it to one of the people in the comment section or one of my paying members, you're just being abusive, then I'm going to block you.
I can usually tell that people are joking, goofing off with the other people in the comments, but yeah, I can usually tell if somebody's being serious with the people in the comments, and in that case, I'll usually just tell them, to cool it off. And if they don't, then one of the moderators handle it. I never take care of anything.
Thank you, Christine. Christine says, Mike, you can definitely take a joke. That's why it's been fun, a blast hanging out with you. I had a blast at Blade Show West hanging out with Christine and Peter.
You're talking about the bare knuckle. That's what I was saying. The blade shapes is similar to that to me. The sheep's foot blade. This knife comes in like I don't even know. 5 different blade shapes, 4 different blade shapes.
I like the one. I like that, just that standard, like almost Spanto drop point that you sent me. That was a beautiful knife. Like I'm not gonna say that I didn't like that knife. It was my knife of the year last year.
Jared, bring a sheep on the live and compare its foot to that blade shape. You know, actually, people think that's true. It was the blade shape used on sheep's
feet. Yep.
Not to resemble it, but you know, it does kind of look like it.
A Wharncliffe is actually so I can't remember, it was the Duke or the Baron of Wharncliffe. That's where that, like, they basically took a sheep's foot and stretched it out, changed it because they wanted to have their own blade shape. I did a video about it a while back, where that comes from. And Wharncliffe is named after a specific district in England, and it's
Lord Wharncliffe.
Lord Wharncliffe came up with. I did a video about it.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't say reverse tanto. I know some people do, so that's okay. You can call it what you want. But the reason why I don't is because if it was a reverse tanto, then this edge would be sharp. That's the only reason why I don't. I know some people do, but like I said, to me, this would be a sheep's foot, or like, say, whatever you call it, clip point, whatever. But I wouldn't call it a reverse tanto.
There is no such thing as a reverse tanto. Right. I did a video about that.
If it's reverse tanto, if it's sharpened, I'll call it a reverse tanto all day.
If the back is sharpened, then it's a reverse tanto. But it's not a reverse tanto. Like that. Like there is no reverse tanto.
But technically, the sax comes from like Lord Wharncliffe.
Yeah.
Right.
Sayax. Well, actually, Sayax came from, that was a Nordic blade, the Sayax, like the Sayax sword and stuff like that. It was a big, longer thing. That's where that Sayax design is a lot like that, but it's more of a Nordic thing. And they're all so good. And it's all incorporated. At this point, like, everything has commingled. That's like the American tanto and the true tanto.
Right. Yeah, so, and there's a lot of one thing we always have to remember is there's a lot of what would you call it, like a modified version.
Yeah.
There's so many, you know. But that's the beauty of blade shapes, is that you just add a little thing here. Now all of a sudden it's a modified drop point or a modified sheep's foot, and I love that. How dare you,
Johnny Quesadilla? I know it's Johnny Quesada.
Doesn't a Warney have more of a point than a sheep's foot? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even if it's not a reverse tanto, I'm going to call it that. Okay, Lindy, you can do that if you want, but I'm still going to say
the Master Blaster is the dopest Warney.
We don't have to agree. Oh, the Master Blaster. Somebody's talking about the Master Blaster. Hang on. It's right here. I have one. I have my personal.
I like Hinder's Wharncliffes too.
It's not very far.
It's a modified drop cliff, damn it.
Now
that's sick. Yeah, that's a great Wharncliffe. Yeah.
So somebody was talking about the Master Blaster. That you're right. This is probably this thing is amazing. I
agree, because it's literally the quintessential, or the original Wharncliffe design, with the tapering spine and the straight edge. Now, Brian seems like a perfectionist. I 100% agree, and that is a great thing, but also can be the downfall. Right. And I'm not trying to be critical over him or anything like that, because I love that he's a perfectionist, but sometimes that can get you, because there's sometimes things that are not going to be an issue and it can drive you fucking nuts. Say for sharpening, right? There's times where I'm trying to get something out of sharpening, man, and like it's nearly impossible. And like you're losing your fucking mind trying to fix it, and you'll do more damage than good.
We were talking about that tungsten carbide, that sandrift.
Oh yeah. How was that?
It was fucking horrible. I'm not gonna lie, it was horrible, because as I'm sharpening it, I was trying to get it back to the original bevels that the knife came with, and I realized real quick that as I did it, it was thinning down, and that it was just chipping at the edge because it didn't have enough material behind it. So what I did was I left the bevels to keep it from being ugly, and I very, very rarely ever do this, but it got. I did a micro bevel at the very edge.
Yeah.
At a higher angle, because
toughen it up a little bit.
Just toughen it up. I still have the nice clean bevel behind it, but there was just no way. And I took it so it's 1,000 grit. I took it to 600 grit because like it just didn't feel. I don't think tungsten is a good knife. It's good for cutting steel. It's good for stuff like that. But in a knife, I just think
for a cutting edge,
it's too brittle. It's too hard.
I agree.
Like it's really hard. And so if you look at the difference in the cutting edge between a cutting tool, like a carbide end mill, it comes down almost to a 90, maybe a little bit less than 90. And so you've got a really resilient edge. On that knife, we're looking at something 17 to something ish. What is Towns Tools doing? What?
I don't know. I'll get to
Dallas. I was not in Dallas last week. So at any rate, it's one of those knives that needs a little bit of reinforcement behind the edge, at the edge, and then you can bring it in. I don't do it very often.
Yeah, I imagine it's a tough son of a bitch to
get
sharp.
Somebody had screwed up the edge on it. It's over there. I can grab it.
Is it anything like sharpening ceramic?
No, actually. No. As far as chippy, yeah, but it's weird. Like it seemed like it was cutting really easily. So I have all this black material on that Atoma stone and all on my other stones. But really, it was really hard to get it to reprofile. It took a lot of work. It took a lot of time. And so I was like, I'm looking at how much black stuff was on my hands from the residue from the stone. But I didn't see that it was removing that much material. It looked like it, but it really, really wasn't.
Gotcha.
I think that it oxidized real fast and turned black real easily. And then it was just all over my hands. But when I looked at it, it was super fine. And there really wasn't as much of it as I was expecting when I cleaned off my stones and stuff. Yeah. But it cleaned up and it polished up like I would expect 1,000 grit edge. But like I said, I really had to put a secondary micro bevel on it to get it to keep from chipping at the edge. So
yeah, I agree.
What's up, Chris?
That's what I'd like to see. I know we got some donations. I'm catching up, guys. I see there's a lot of comments.
Well, while you're catching up, I'm going to grab that sander real quick.
Instagram accounts were saying racist shit. We were there watching. It was an USA Made Blades live stream. We covered all of this. We had Brian on our live stream after this all went down. I'm sorry to hear that. That
sucks. That's like Rick needs to come out and make a statement on shit like that because it's going to look bad on him.
Yeah, it's going to look bad on him. It's not saying that it was him though. It means that it was somebody, obviously not just any troll.
I don't know. But I don't know. Can you see
the secondary? Thank you for the 5 bones. Hey, smart again, huh? Yeah, you failed science class, asshole. Stouts are up on Urban EDC Supply now. Shameless plug. Definitely go and check that out. If you did not get in on Lefty's pre-order, go and check out Urban EDC Supply. You might be able to use a link from Lefty's channel. So definitely support his content. It is his design. So, oh yeah,
you already posted that. You already put that.
Yeah.
One. Hey, can you see the micro? But yeah, you can kind of see the micro bevel on that. So you see, it's got the made bevel, and then I just put that's a 650 grit micro bevel. So it was so badly. You can see like whoever had sharpened it, like he sent it back to the factory, and they sharpened it, and then they got that super low spot on both sides, and it was clear up here at the tip. Like it was hot. It was bad.
Yeah.
Like there was 2 bevels on it, and I was like, he wanted it back up, but it came out okay. But it's not something that's going to be, it's not going to be a fine cutting tool. And if you hit something with that, it's going to chip. Like if you hit, it's not like going to roll. It's going to take a chip out of it, and then you're going to have to deal with that.
Okay. New house. The problem is a lot of times we don't know exactly what angle the factory edge is. Now, most factory edges, or let me say, a lot of factory edges are about 22.5 degrees per side. Now,
yeah, that's between 17 and 23 is usually where they
like Spyderco's is 15 with a micro bevel, right? Yeah. Spyderco's is 15 with a micro bevel, but most other companies are around 22, 25 degrees. Some are higher, some are lower, but you can't know without actually throwing it on like a system or getting the tools to actually measure it and check it. So when you're doing a review, you usually haven't checked that, because when you put this way, when you resharpen it, at least in our cases, we don't really give a shit.
Yeah, that's why I say for me, I don't care what the factory edge was. Usually I'm hitting 17 to 20. That's kind of like the Goldilocks zone for a knife. If you want it to be an all around, if you want it to be really slicey, maybe 15.
Then 15, right.
If you want it to be, if it's something you're going to have out in the woods, you're going to be beating on stuff, maybe 20 with, then 20. Right. 20 to 24, like 22 to 24.
Yeah.
Like anywhere between 17 and 22 is kind of the Goldilocks zone, depending on blade stock
thickness. I love
and stuff
17 like for like just like where I it's going to be tough enough to do EDC stuff, but slicey enough too. That's why I love 17 degrees. But yeah, like you said, if you want a little tougher, go up a little bit. If you want a little slicier, go down a little bit.
If you get one of those knives, though, that if you get a knife like I'm not gonna lie, like that Steingrabber Shark is so thin behind the edge, you could get away because the geometry on that is going to overcome the thickness, the bluntness of that edge. So on a really thick knife, the geometry, even like I've seen Alex do videos where he's cutting paper with an unsharpened knife. That's how thin his knives are. So the blade geometry is doing a lot of the cutting. And that way your edge, like you can put a more resilient, blunter edge, which is going to hold up longer because the blade geometry is going to overcome that. So
I agree.
Like that's, I was going to point, I was hoping we were going to kind of talk about that because this is another knife that's that case. I put a relatively blunt edge on this, but this knife is
talk about that a little more, Newhouse. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So like with this blade being so thin behind the edge, I didn't have to go as thin on the edge. And so this edge has held up because it's a little bit of a steeper angle. It's a little bit, wider an angle, but the blade is doing a lot of the cutting horsepower because it's so thin. So,
well, it's kind of like with, this guy right here by Brian over Transparent.
Oh yeah.
This is so thin that it can be a blunt edge and this fucker's going to cut as good as a lot of other knives. It's so thin.
I've got a 940 with transparent regrind in it or reblade in it right now here at the house. It is dull and it still cuts cardboard about as good as anything else.
I'm
like, holy shit, this thing, like you can run your thumb on it. Like it's at that point, I'm like, I've just been cutting cardboard with it. Cause I'm like, well, when does it stop cutting? And I'm like, it's dull and it's still cutting.
Yeah. I got mine really sharp right now. I just, resharpened it and because it's so thin, I sharpened it up in like 4 minutes.
Can you please read one of Towns' tools? He's
I want to read Lindy's right after this. What happens when Mike Emler gives advice?
Nothing.
Lindy said,
I think he's feeling left out.
If we as an industry, whether consumer or maker, are not growing and evolving, then we are doing something wrong. Regardless of the industry, growth is essential. I fucking agree with that so much.
It's just like the channel thing we were talking about. Like if you're doing the same thing every day and you expect it's going to get better and you're really not trying to change anything, it's the same thing. You should be
evolving.
I've definitely changed my channel because of guys like you and Cole, and I give you guys, I ask you guys for like, we talk at least once a week.
Yeah.
And it's always about like, okay, what do you think about this? How about this? What am I doing wrong on this? What's my thumbnails look? And a lot of time you're telling me just fucking be patient because I will say like, I've seen it. It's jumped up really. You were saying it. You can't see it like that fast, but over the last month, I've seen it. Now you say that, but I honestly have seen a big.
Well, no, I'm not saying it. You won't. I'm just saying like, if you don't, still be patient, it's kind of like fishing, right? Like, and I'm not trying to relate.
If you're catching every time you throw it out,
if you don't catch nothing right when you throw it in, that doesn't mean it's not going to work. Just be patient. But if it does, awesome. Right.
My dad used to say, he's like, boy, if you caught a fish every time you threw the line in the water, it wouldn't be called fishing. It'd be called catching.
Right. Damn right. If you can't be depreciating, then you're too uptight.
That's deprecating.
Oh, sorry. Deprecating. I thought that sounded weird. Woman Carry Knife says, Mike, you can definitely take a joke. That is why it has been a blast hanging out with you. I agree. Jared, it was on Hinder's website under warranty details. It stated that any D10 issues are not covered. That's crazy.
No, that's a lot of knives. Actually, a lot of knives are like that.
And they said the same thing. That's mind blowing to me. I can't imagine why that wouldn't be covered.
In their defense, I think that Benchmade at one point were the only ones that would even look at it. They wouldn't fix it, but you could send it in for that. Like they still wouldn't fix it, but they didn't say it was like you'd send it in and they'd be like, yeah, we didn't find anything wrong with it, but we sharpened it. Like, okay, that's the one thing I ask you not to do.
Bree says the line between being insulting and just goofing around is about the width of a freeway.
No, it's not.
I can't overlook the fact that he doesn't like that sheep's foot because that beard is just so luscious and full. I know you think that looks like a guy who would like a sheep's foot.
I do like a sheep's foot.
No, like a real sheep's foot.
That's not a sheep's foot.
Sorry. A badass sheep's
foot. Every mariner's knife, every Navy, like like every knife I ever carried that was issued to me as a military, like Navy knife, like a sailor's knife that had a sheep's foot blade, had definitely a much straighter blade than what you're showing.
The reverse tanto you got.
Jared is so far behind the chat. Yeah, I know.
I know. You know what? I'm just going to scroll down, guys, and catch up.
There's a little arrow. You just click on it. Just forget everything else we said because, like,
wait, if it's not made out of wool, it can't be a sheep's foot. All right, I'm just going to catch up, guys. If you got, oh shit, yeah, I missed a lot, guys. I'm just catching up. Cubo,
yeah, you're way behind.
Bones. Evening, Jared, Mike, and the Bang Gangsters. Hopped in here. You talk about Hinder.
Towns tools.
Such
I do not.
a well-built tool, but that darn flipper is ouch. I knocked mine down. I knocked mine down. Mine is very much knocked down. Mine's perfect now. I rounded this out a little bit. Just give it a little flattened portion right there. It's so much better. But yeah, I agree. Especially
how's the action? Can you thumb flip that one? Is that one?
Oh yeah, because it's stiff. It's stiff, but yeah. Every time.
Then I would have just ground
and I can clear off. Reverse flick it.
Yeah, I would have just ground that thing right the fuck off.
But now it's good though because I knocked it down. So
it's still like okay, like I said, dimension of hands. I don't care how much you knock that down, it's gonna dig into my finger like halfway.
Oh, you're talking about open wise. Yeah.
I would have just taken it all the way off. That's if you can thumb flip it, because I've seen Hinders that like you can't thumb flip and they're so stiff. You have to use the flipper tap.
No, this one
and those I wouldn't do it, but I would have flipper deleted that.
There are some that, yes, I agree. They're very, very stiff. This one's got a good stiffness to it, a nice break. That's why the flipper works really good. However, yes, I love the non-flippers.
Yeah, it's great.
Because the flipper works so good on it, man, it's tough on this one. Tough.
Yeah.
Maybe on the other one. My 20C VZT 562 has been a lot of work to reprofile the blade. When I did it with 154 CM, things were much easier. Yeah, that's the way it's going to be. It's going to take longer, especially with thicker geometry.
Like 20 CV, if you've never sharpened, like I've sharpened so much 20 CV, I don't think about it. I just but it
also when it's thick, like a 5.62.
Like the first time I ever sharpened 20 CV or M390, I was like, what the fuck is this?
Well, especially when you're getting it and it's, 25, 30 thousandths behind the edge. It's like, holy shit, man. This is taking fucking and let me be clear. And if you are reprofiling at a lower angle.
Yes.
That shit will take you fucking hours.
Forever. Unless you have an Atoma 120, which that was
right. When you have the right stones, it's good. But man, still though, like some of these Hinders, Medfords I'm doing, when they're like fucking 40 thousandths behind the edge and you're laying it back to 17, 15 degrees per side. Holy shit. Does it take a long fucking time? Pack your bags, pack your lunch, motherfucker.
The Medfords are a knife that if somebody's like, hey, I want you to reprofile this, I'm like, it's going to be extra. They're not. I was like, no, it's going to be extra. Like, I'm just telling you now, it's going to be extra because like I'm not aware that it puts on your stones to reprofile a Medford. When you do it, you can get them. You can get some of those Medfords, even as thick as they are. You can get them pretty slicey. I'm not saying the Medfords aren't good knives. I'm just saying the designs don't. I don't like the designs as much as other people. They're quality knives. I just don't like the design.
They're hard use knives. They're not. They're not your basic
beaters
knife. The thing about Rick Hinder, step out and say something people will assume. That's how he feels about non-white people by not condemning the racist behavior from the people who support him. I don't know what he knows about it, so I don't want to jump to conclusions like saying anything like that.
I've got to address this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mike Emler brushes his beard. Imagine being a man and having time to brush hair. Might as well sit cross-legged. Here's the thing. I don't have any hair to brush, so I brush my beard.
Him. He's got to do his beard, man. Johnny, thank you for the 5 bones, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Is that Johnny Quesadilla? I saw that a little bit ago.
Appreciate all the donations, guys. Thank you. It all goes back into the channel, and I do appreciate it. Chris Reeves' nice Tanto is interesting. It's in between an American and a Japanese. Yeah, and it's got that convex front portion.
If I was going to buy, I'm not a fan of the American Tanto, but if I was going to buy one, if I was going to set out and say, I want to buy a tanto other than the one I have that's in my Norseman, it would be a Chris Reeves. I told Tim that the last time I saw him. I was like, bro, you guys, like, you want to talk about a company that nails the tanto? It's Chris Reeves knives.
Yeah.
They do such a good job on their tantos.
Yeah, and I like how they have a secondary tip still.
Yes, they're still great.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of that secondary point per se, because like I said, I'm not such a fan of that. The American style tanto. I'm much more inclined to take like a Japanese style tanto, or like a spanto, or like the Chavez, where it's a hollow and a flat, like that compound.
Right. The dual.
I'm cool with that. They're attractive and they're good. But if I was going to get one that had an Americanized tanto, I would definitely, definitely get one of the, like that. Exactly.
We got the hollow and the flat.
This is a K2
tanto.
Is that the K2?
Yeah, and it still has that secondary tip, and it's nice. It still works really good, and that's one thing to me personally. That's the benefit of the tanto, is that secondary tip.
Chuck it asked if we've reached. I was going to mention this. This is kind of funny. So I'm doing a live feed after this. I told everyone, because I have some stuff I have to do. If we can get to $400 of super chat this week, I'm going to carry this as my primary carry for the rest of the month.
Good luck.
Yeah,
brother.
Plastic scales. It's a frost cutlery. Huh?
Yeah, me and Kara, this was like a good while back when we were fucking broke as shit, right? And she tried to make a deal with me where I had to carry the Dalica for a week. But if I did, then I could buy this knife I wanted. I was like, fuck, I don't need it that bad.
Sounds tools like keep crop shotting me.
Because I couldn't go to work with that thing.
No,
like think about if I was working and I needed a knife at work. So it's like this isn't like whether or not it's funny or not. I can't fucking do it, man.
Yeah,
I can't bring that thing to work.
Here's the thing, like my primary carry. So I still carry. I can get away with it because I carry 3 different knives throughout the day. My primary carry is my always going to be my Norseman.
Oh, but you can't cheat on this though, Mike. You're gonna have to make that your only.
Okay, so what I'm saying is this would get you, this is in my pocket every day. This is my primary carry. This goes out and this lit edge goes in. But I'm still reviewing knives, so I still have another knife to carry. I still have to use this for tasks, but like I'm carrying the knives. I'm still reviewing the stuff that you sent me. Yeah, for my personal use, it's going to be this.
My wife is even hooked. Her Kaiser Lieb arrived today. That's awesome. And it's all over. Our journey as knife enthusiasts have begun. Welcome to the community. Drewby Tunes Original. Shout out to Drewby Tunes Original. Shout out to you and your lovely wife. I think that is amazing. Me and my lovely wife, Kara, found the community the exact same way. So that's awesome, man. Thank you. Haters gonna hate. Did you do any hating today? Have you got your hating out today?
I hate heater knives every day.
Lindy, thank you.
I go find a picture of a heater knife and I just hate it. Like I hate every day. Because just like I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I'm not in a bad enough mood yet. Let me go find a picture of a heater knife. Have you seen this? Have you seen those fucking ugly ass heaters?
Early when I first got into sharpening, I got the Atoma 140, 600 plus a bunch of Neevesknives. That's awesome. And my reprofiling is so much. Oh man, dude, that's so awesome. Yes, those Neevesknives make, not the Neevesknives, sorry, the Atomas make reprofiling so much
easier.
They
do.
Especially when you're talking about thick edges, man. And let's be honest, there's a lot of edges that are not thin.
You told me I needed to get one a while back. And I was like, I already got stones. And then I tried the ultra sharp 300, 600 and 1500. They're, as much as I know you like them, they're trash. Like I love
them. Well, because we were talking about $50.
I know,
but 3, 6 and a 1200 for 2x6s. I think that's perfect. Like I don't even know how many. I have tons of them because like that was my go-to because I was on a tight budget, but I needed stones, and to me that's perfect. Like
but if you're trying to do a lot of stuff, you're not going to get past.
Well, of course.
Well, and I was trying to replace.
Right. For you, of course, you're going to want something like that because you're doing
that.
A lot.
Atoma's great. What was this? So somebody asked me what my keister carry is. My go-to keister carry. Who was that?
What is it?
Hang on, I'm trying to find who said it.
What's your prison purse carry?
Kyle, what's your favorite keister carry? I'd have to say either take the pocket clip off of this nice thin little bastard,
and
then maybe get that up against the O-ring, take the pocket clip off, or my Benchmade 940, because they're both nice thin. You're not trying to stick like a fucking, you're not trying to stick like a Rant Horizon D in there or anything.
I finally decided what knife I'm going to try to hunt for. A Microtech SOCOM Elite Manual Tanto with an Apocalypse finish. Probably take me a few years to find one. I don't know how their policy is on if you are a first responder still, but if you get a hold of a first responder, you might be able to get
what is it?
one.
Microtech?
The Microtech SOCOM Elite.
I used to know. I'm trying to think if I still know who runs there. It used to be Corey Campbell used to run their LEO and military sales department. And, well, Jason McCoy did it for a while too. I don't know who took their spot.
I know that one girl, she's working for them now.
Little Fit Devil.
Yeah,
but she's not running.
No, I know that. I was just saying that she's working there now.
Yeah, I know she's working there, but like Jason McCoy and Corey Campbell both left Microtech. I don't know why. I don't know like the politics, anything like that. Hey, thanks, Cue Ball.
Definitely go and follow Mike Emler's channel. I keep an extra coarse DMT stone around for the heavy reprofiling jobs. Yeah, if you're going to be doing, like, especially if it's thick behind the edge, and you're going to be reprofiling, and it's a harder steel, meaning like, 20 CV, M390, 204P, lots of other steels too, 3B, Magna Cut, I can go on and on. You want something very aggressive to start off with, because you're going to be removing the same amount of steel regardless. So you're going to reprofile with that first stone, get all your work done, and then work on the finish and, refining it and everything. But the first initial reprofiling and getting your edge bevel set, just go with whatever the fuck is the coarsest thing you can find that's diamond and get it done, because it's going to take, you're going to be removing the same amount of steel regardless. So do you want it to take an hour and a half, or do you want it to take 30, 45 minutes?
Okay. I think I have a sneaking suspicion. I know who Towns Tools is. Pretty sure of it. I think it's my buddy Polly over at Purple Heart Barbecue, because
is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure of it, because the stuff I'm seeing, like I just texted him. I was like, is that you on this feed?
What did he say?
He hasn't responded back. But the second I saw him talk about bullshit on the brim of my hat or bird shit.
Yeah, he's right here. What's his thumbnail normally?
It's just his Purple Heart.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It might not be. Mike, are you holding sunflower seeds?
Might not be. He might just be fucking around.
I don't care. He's at least he's humorous. He's not like the trolls I get sometimes on my channel that they try to be funny and they're not. At least he's funny.
Yeah, at least he's funny, right?
At least he's funny. I can handle that. Like if you try to be funny and you're not, that's
at least come with the heat if you're gonna come. So just so the Bang Gang members know, we do have a giveaway. Somebody donated a Work Sharp. It's a freehand stone with the angle guide. So it's an angle guided freehand sharpening stone, and the plates are replaceable, and it comes with a little pocket hone. We're going to give that away. Probably a couple other things too, but so shout out to the Bang Gang squad. We do have a giveaway coming up on Sunday, and to the patron members, a couple people have not entered yet. I'm going to pull it soon. So make sure, if you haven't seen the patron entry video, go and watch it and make sure you enter, because I noticed we're missing some. So I want to make sure everybody does get a chance to enter. I know some people don't want to enter, and that's fine, but maybe just leave a comment and say that, or let me know. And anybody who has DM'd me in my my requested form, I will get to it. It's backed up. It's like I got like 40 messages in there. I will get to it. I'm just taking a couple days without answering any of those, catching up, and then I will get to them. So don't worry. I will always answer your guys' messages. And you guys can always, if you guys see that I haven't responded, don't feel bad to message me again.
So
sorry, 1 second.
Towns Tools. I would definitely text you, but I don't have your phone number. So
thanks for the 2 bones, Aiden. Thanks for the 2 bones.
Oh, hey, it's Aiden.
He wants that OnlyFans discount code. No discounts on there. No discounts.
Ooh.
Did you see the text you after the show?
Yeah, but I don't know who that is, and I don't have their phone numbers.
I'm guessing you know who that is now.
I don't
I have
think
a
so.
firefighter friend. I was going to ask if he could try and get me a knife.
There's my buddy Paulie.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Try that. Try that. That I'm not sure how that works out with them still, but to my knowledge, they still do it.
Yoda, get a hold of me. I still qualify as well. I can get it for you. I'm retired, so I can qualify.
There you go. Oh shit! Here he is.
Yeah, there's Paulie.
There he is.
Yeah, that's my buddy Paulie.
Talking shit.
Who the fuck is talking shit? Daddy's home.
Yeah. The great people that troll Mike on his live stream make his live stream so much fun.
Oh, it is. It is. But I get the best kind of trolls.
Mike's always wanted that sitting around the bonfire kind of feel where you're kind of just sitting around with the boys or like sitting around the yard or the garage.
I'm in a folding chair. Guys, I'm in a folding chair.
All right.
Like I'm in a Timber Ridge folding chair in my garage drinking whiskey, talking to Jared.
But you know, I like
apparently according to Towns Tools, your name is Gerald.
You know, speaking about, you know, like I guess evolving with your channel and shit, I think it's great to evolve because no matter what, and because some people might think, and I know you're always going to get the people say, "Oh, you changed." Your personality and you are never going to change. You're always going to be you. But that doesn't mean you can't evolve your content to the extent that it appeals to a bigger audience and the people that you already have. Yeah. But still be, you know, the same person, just as humble as you always are, and also still even maybe do some of the old content you used to do or like that. But I think it's important though to grow as much as possible.
Hi, Jared's mom.
Where's she at? She's in
here. Miss Paper's here.
Hey, Mama. How's everyone doing? Thank you, Mom. Thank you for jumping in here. I love you.
Thank you, Hugh Ball. Thank you for that. We are
we are barbecue. Why haven't you subscribed to Purple Heart Barbecue? Go subscribe. Here's the link to his channel.
But I like to mess with Paulie. He's got a lot of really good videos up. Like stuff like he's done stuff on his channel where like I was like, wow, I wouldn't have thought about doing that with chicken wings that way or doing other stuff. He does a lot of really cool stuff. And he's a really good dude.
Well, definitely go and follow his channel, guys. I'll definitely check
Army veteran
as well.
He's an Army veteran. He got that enemy marksmanship award. So
do what you like. Dude. That's for sure. And that's another thing too. I always say that you want to make content that you like. You know, if it's something that entertains you and something you enjoy watching, then that's a great thing to do. But don't get caught up in the thing thinking that everybody's going to appeal to exactly what you like. So it's not a bad thing to appeal to what you like and also what other audiences like as well.
Well, and I get wrapped up in it too. And I told Cole the same thing. It's just because I like a video and I put a lot of work into it doesn't mean it's going to do well. Just because I liked a video, I can't get bent if people don't like it because people might not like that knife design. People might not like that knife maker. People might not like that knife steel. People might not like the fact that I like that knife. Like people,
some of my hardest working videos, the videos that I put the most effort into them, just did not do well.
But I will tell you that I have noticed that if you go back and you change your tags and your thumbnail on sometimes those videos, it will get reevaluated. So YouTube, if you have a video you think would do better, sometimes you should have done better. Go back and change your thumbnails a little bit or not your thumbnail, but your tags. If you change your tags, YouTube has to reevaluate that video and kick it back up for view to reevaluate how it performs in the algorithm because now you've changed that section. So he does, Kyle.
So have you tried American Blade Works yet?
I have not.
You have not, man. I got to send this to you. So American Blade Works. Now I was impressed with their liner lock after I tuned it and everything, but the frame lock, even their liner lock, because I don't want to say, because I know mine, I got secondary and stuff, but I did have to tune it and I did have to send it in and everything. But in the end, it was great. I loved it. This frame lock right out of the box, man. Perfect.
I've seen it. I've seen it, but I haven't got to carry it.
Yeah, man.
I've never gotten a handle on it. You know what it looks like? Go back and let me see the pivot again.
Well, let me knock.
Yeah. That's okay. I like that. I just wanted to see the pivot.
Yeah, no, it's really nice. The action's really good. The machining is really, really nice on it. It's got beautiful machining.
Holy shit, Alex is here. Outdoors 55. You want to talk about a channel that's got a lot of subs? This is the one you're coming up on. Alex, how many subs you got now? It's right under Lisa.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Mom. Outdoors 55. What's up, man?
Up, Alex?
Holy shit. We got a big dog in the house.
Yeah, I want to definitely. I got to get you. I got to send you a DM. We haven't talked in a while. I definitely. And my buddy.
Yeah, I want to get him on the live, man. I asked him a while back, and he said when he caught up and stuff, he would.
Yeah, he's still working on that house, Alex.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure he's really busy. I
mean, I don't know why I thought he'd immediately respond.
But if you are still in here, I'd love to have you on if you ever get a chance, man.
Mike Emler is a less talented brother of Tyler Childers.
I miss watching his videos, man. He had awesome videos. I've learned a lot from him. He did incredible quality videos and very informative videos that really drew me in.
Did you see the one where we did I sent a video, I did a video and I sent him a link to it, and then he did the same night. We sharpened a knife on a car window.
I did.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a lot of fun.
I bet you have. But if you do ever find some free time, man, I would love to. I absolutely be honored to have you on for a live. I know you're really busy carrying up. Oh, here we go. Coming up on slowing down soon. Awesome. Nice. Awesome. Well, hopefully everything works out for you, man. And
Alex, if I didn't already do it, I will do it tonight. I will text you. I said I was going to do it. I was going to DM you my cell phone number so that you could so we could not have. I don't check DMs on Instagram very often either.
Yeah, here's his channel, guys. If you guys want to go and follow it, go follow his channel. You can go back through his content. He hasn't been posting a lot lately, but I'm sure he's going to come back soon. Last
time I checked, he was at like 200.
Really busy, but he has a large roster of content that will never grow old. Tons of great sharpening, tons of just great everything. Go and watch his shit. You guys will not be disappointed. I guarantee it.
It was one of the first. It was one of the first knife channels I followed outside of
250K. Holy shit!
That's what I say. Alex's channel was one of the first channels that I started viewing, other than Jim Skelton. He was one of the first ones that I ever really started following, other than like Jim Skelton and a couple others.
Yeah, 256K, man. That's crazy.
That's a lot, bro. You would have to double. You'd have to double your current subscribers and then still get some.
I'll get there though. I'll get there. I'm coming for them. I'm coming. Maybe we can do a little collab video and I can grab some of them fuckers.
That's what I was gonna say. He and I have been talking about it for a while, but I just know he's so busy.
Yeah, I bet.
So
Jared, Mike, how the hell are you? How the hell are you, Russ? What's up, Russ?
How you been, Russ? I haven't seen you on my channel for a while. Where you been? I know Russ you were saying that you had a lot of work and stuff that you did. What was it? Okay, so there was something else we wanted to talk about, and we had both said we were going to talk about it, and I can't remember what it was because I do smoke.
That's awesome. He's got a Rockwall tester. That's awesome.
Nice.
Fuck yeah, that'd be great. That's something that only a few people have in the community, and it's difficult because there's so many knives and so many things that deserve testing. Because just because one knife from one company tests something, that doesn't mean this one will. So it's great to have multiple people being able to test things, and I want to say hold the companies accountable, but more so give the community the right information on what to expect. Thank you. I didn't mean to do this one. Your gay sex experience in Chicago is what you wanted to discuss. I meant to say thanks to John Evans, and I accidentally clicked on that one.
It's all right. That's funny.
That is funny.
I never had gay sex in Chicago.
It was just sex.
Well, I never had gay sex anywhere, but especially not in Chicago.
It wasn't in Chicago. I remember when I was in my 20s, an old man told me that you could use a car window. I tried it. Thanks, Mike made that video. Yeah. Then Mike made that video.
Oh, I thought he was saying that I was the old guy, and I was like, God,
I thought he meant that too at first, but yeah.
Like, you read it, and I wasn't looking. I was like, what the fuck?
Hey, well, Thank you, Custom EDC Knives, for the 2 bounce. Shout out to the Bang Gang Squad. Hey, everyone. How is it going? How are you doing, Custom EDC?
That's Daniel. I sharpened. That's Daniel. Custom EDC Knives is the one that sent me that Rockstead that I sharpened. You guys got to see the video about. I'm sorry. I really wanted to film that for I wanted to film sharpening that for everybody, but it was just so nerve wracking trying to stay.
Oh yeah, there's some, man. I won't even try to film unless if I'm just gonna film little clips of it, because I'm not gonna sit there and run the whole thing because I want to be hyper focused.
Yeah, it was well, and it was a Hizen, so it has that secondary bevel line that goes the whole length, and it's really straight, it's really precise. And I was like, yeah, I got to stay with it, because if you get outside of that and you scratch the primary grind, you can't fix that. Like, you just cannot fix that.
What do you think about the EMP EDCs? I know you got to try one finally.
Okay, so I really like it because it was really well thought out, and it
had the liner lock version, by the way.
Yeah, I thought so. But so I like the fact it had all those deployment methods and stuff like that. For me to buy it, I would have to have something that did not have such a big gap between that forward choil and the rest of the grip. That high spot in the middle for my hand, right there. Yeah. I guess what Cole was telling me is that the XL version is not quite as bad. I like that. Don't get me wrong, but it would not be something that would find a lot of time in my pocket. So I appreciated it for the fact it was amazing. It's well
But you never tried the large one, though.
I haven't gotten to yet. No.
Yeah, the large one to me is, for me personally, in my hand, in use and everything, I prefer the larger one, but this one is a lot more fidgety. So if you're the type of person that likes a medium to small size knife anyways, this is the king of fidget. It's so fidgety. The detent is so well tuned on it.
But I don't typically fidget with knives. I could see the fact that people do, but like the fact it has so many different deployment methods on it, I was like, all right, that's really cool. The only thing it's missing is like a fucking a wave feature. Like it's got every other possible way to open it except for the wave. And if you get a zip tie,
OCD for EDC. What's up, Beaches?
Justin's here
tonight. Definitely go and follow his channel. Also, OCD for EDC does have a website with a lot of great stuff. Everybody keeps asking me every time I show my Spyderco. Let me
oh yeah, I've been telling people about this. That goes
the CME right there, that little button right there. So that attaches, that's called compression made easy, the CME. This is the guy you can get them from right here. Everybody keeps asking me about it. Right here. It's super easy to install. Anybody can install it. You don't need any help or anything like that. He's got videos on it. It glues right on, and it's not like the glue comes off. It's super glued on.
I'm curious. So I wanted to know. So I have this, and I didn't like this knife when I first got it. Like I was like,
what is that? What was that?
So this is that Brad Southard Spyderco Hanan.
Okay.
And it's got a compression lock, but this compression lock, I'm curious. I need to get with Justin and see if it'll fit in there, because
that looks tight.
It is. It's really tight. And when you flip it, like your finger, like it catches your finger.
Yeah.
And it won't lock. That one's a little tight. It's until you pull your finger out, it has blade play. But I've gotten to where this. So this was a gift from Sharif Manganis, and I'm like, this is an interesting knife. I just wish it didn't have the compression lock. I wish it was like a liner lock or something.
Yeah, Cal. Or yours is the Thai version, because I got a giveaway coming with the Thai version, the full titanium EMP EDC. But about the CME though, you can find them on OCD for EDC site, among lots of other things. Like, this is another thing I want to talk about tonight. I did show this in a video. This is pivot. Let me see if it'll come up. Pivot grease, pivot lube, and it makes it to where you can inject it, and you can be a doctor at home. So you could inject your knives, and it works really good. You can get that needle applicator. It's clear, and in the video I didn't see it at first because it's clear, so I didn't see it in the package. But after I got it out, it's got a really long needle head, so you can shove it in them tight areas and just inject the lube right in there. And yeah, it gets really slick. It works really well. I'm very happy with it. But you can get that stuff. I know he's out of that stuff right at the moment, but he should have some new stuff soon. But he's got other stuff on his website. Go and follow him.
So
I'd like to get the XL Nimble. Yeah, the XL Nimble, man. It's great.
I want to see it.
Yeah,
I
it's
want to see
definitely
one.
great. There's 2 different blade shapes though, so you kinda gotta pick which blade shape if you are able to get one or find one on the secondary.
So my buddy Polly, Purple Heart Barbecue, he had an idea. He's going to do something. He has a helmet that he got while he was in Baghdad, I believe. It's a war helmet, and he got it. He's going to do nachos in it. So he said that war helmet nachos this weekend. I think he's going to do the video, so that's going to be hilarious.
War
but he also
helmet
said
nachos.
But he also said, Mike, this is like your live feed, but actually good.
Which makes my 12-hour shift go by a lot faster. Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it, bud. Is OCD for EDC or high OCD? Man, I'm dyslexic, man.
So Justin answered my question. OCD
so
for
bad,
EDC
guys.
answered my question. It's not going to work on a compression lock with a flipper tab. So I guess I'm just out of luck. Yeah, he was telling me about that too.
Oh, the CME will not work for the compression lock with a flipper tab. Yeah, I wouldn't think so. That one's a lot tighter.
Yeah, it is.
It seems like it'd be a lot more difficult to pull off. Yeah.
I'll just have to have him make something custom for me then.
Right. Or drill a hole, put a button in it.
Yeah, I'm not doing that shit. Then just make it like a button lock.
Yeah, fuck it. I mean, that's what they did with the smock. It works great.
That doesn't save me. The part that bothers me is like when you
you couldn't do that anyways. You got the flipper. Yeah, you got the flipper. Yeah.
Your finger when you flip it, first of all, the flipper action is a little soft, and then your finger gets in there. So it's like boggle Q1. So
weren't sure if it was lube had me wrong. Yeah, I wasn't sure either, man. I was all fucked up with that lube thing, man. I started thinking like, man, what if this is, I had to make sure before I posted the video to make sure I wasn't too stupid.
Well, I mean,
it's working great. I like it. I like it a lot. I've injected a few knives with it. The first one because when I first originally squirted it in there, I don't think I got it in there good, but right when I actually injected it, I could tell right away.
Is it an oil or is it a grease?
It's like a thick oil, but it could be considered grease, but it's like a thick oil. But it's got the thicker consistency, so it's not like say if you put a dot on your finger, it's not just going to drain across your finger. It's going to sit there, but it makes it to where, because of the needle applicator, it makes it so easy it's really thin, like the needle applicator, so it makes it to where you can push it right into the bearings. And let me just show you really quick. It works great, and it actually, and trust me, I love KPL. But this needle like that,
holy crap,
you can get right into where you want. And the one thing is that, unlike the KPL, which I think you do have a lot of control over, I love KPL, it's probably my favorite stuff, but this, you have so much control because of the needle applicator. Like, I can put literally the exact dot I want on my finger or wherever I want. Like, it's just
nice,
so easy to use. And that is kind of cool, because the one problem I had with the one KPL, man, is it's thin. So like, it comes out quick.
Are you talking about the new one, the ultralight? The one with the gold label?
Well, no, the original one. Like now the heavy is fine. The heavy's nice and thick, and I love it. Don't get me wrong, I love it. So I'm not talking crap about it. I'm just saying that you have the ability to sometimes squirt a little bit more than you'd like.
Yeah, you do.
It still lasts forever, so it doesn't. Really
I'm not gonna lie. I have a thin needle applicator, a lot like that I put some KPL in. But I find that I can just get a drop on the applicator and then just kind of spread it across, and it just kind of drips down in.
Yeah.
But that's actually really nice. I like the idea of having something really thin like that. I had a lubricator pin syringe that's like that, and it was for locks, for getting way down inside locks. And I've put KPL in that before, and it works pretty good for that too.
And that would work probably great for that too, especially like if it's starting to freeze up, or you're starting to feel that where it's like not wanting to go. That's what you actually need, is something just like that. And that's why I always say to people, like, the fucking lubricants and oils, it's not like it's just for your knives. Like, there are so many functions and things around that you would use. You need to use oils for. Keep parts oiled. Like, you should just, period. Here's OCD for EDC's website, guys, so you guys can go and check out his website.
I'm gonna have to try that, because like I'm friends with Ryan,
and it'll be back in stock soon. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm friends with Ryan over at KPL. So I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's not like he bought my loyalty with this. Like I have not bought a single KPL item. Like I got one of the first bottles when they first came out.
I love KPL.
He sent me the heavy when it came out. He sent me the ultralight for OTFs, and I love them all. But I mean, I'm always willing to try new stuff. I will say that
these things
blade
are
shield
fire too.
Oh, you finally got them?
Yeah, I fucking love them, man.
Those I'm gonna have to get some because the ones that I have in my, and I apologize for the affiliate link that I have in my description, I've got to get rid of it because it's a dead link now. They don't sell them.
Oh yeah, redo that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, but I have that KPL blade shield, the spray that's like EDCI.
Yeah.
Fucking great. That shit's money. I love that.
So I got the stuff from KPL. That's like EDCI, and then I got the other stuff that's like a polisher or whatever.
Yeah.
These things it's a little tiny Q-tips, but they're really like, it's a very tiny tip. You can get these things down into D10 holes around pivots. Like you can do so much of
inside the bearing race, like inside the bearing race. That's where they come in really handy.
The bearing race. Everywhere, just basically all the little pieces. And see, I always used a regular Q-tip before, and it was always too big. Always. Like, obviously going around a bearing race, no, but doing D10 holes or getting into fine little corners and parts, it was always too big. And these little guys are perfection.
They're so much better than, like, I don't have an ultrasonic.
Multi-purpose.
Like, I typically, if my shit's really dirty, I'll take it to my buddy Matt's house, put it in the ultrasonic.
Yeah.
And just clean everything out. But sometimes you get some weird, sometimes if you've got a knife with a coating, you can get some weird spotting and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not perfect for stuff like that.
See, I wouldn't say it's better than KPL. I haven't had it long enough to like do like a comparison. I just recently got it. But I would say that it works so far as of right now. I would say it works about as good as KPL. The one positive thing with KPL is that KPL smells really good.
It does. It smells like sugar cookies.
Right. It doesn't smell like oil. So that's the one benefit to it. And like I said, and I love KPL. So I'm
curious.
And this one, I'll end up being able to tell you which one I like better after time. It's just,
well, that's what I was going to say. I'm curious because KPL has, I truly tested. I told Ryan that when I did the live feed with him, like when they made that claim that it holds the grit in suspension, I took one of my oil stones, one of my Arkansas stones, and I sharpened with it to see if the stone would load up. And I'm not gonna lie, when they say it holds the grit in suspension, typically, even when you're using like a good mineral oil on an Arkansas stone, you still have to clean that stone up a little bit with something to get some of the metal residue out of that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. None. There was no residue in that stone. Like it kept it all lifted up. And I was like, okay, like that's a good way to test it. And I was like, okay, that's actually a really, really good thing. And I noticed that my knives stay way smoother, longer. And the other thing is it doesn't wash out as easily as some of the other oils. And I can take a knife that's dirty and rinse it out under the sink with the KPL. So I'm curious to see, because I like Justin and his wife. I'm just curious to see how that holds up for those things. Because that's how I tested it. Like, okay, it says it doesn't wash out. I'll run it under hot water and see if I still get the same amount of lubrication after I've washed it and stuff like that.
I got one of his shirts on the way because I wanted to support him.
Precision, what are you going to send me pictures of you wearing my shirt so I can put it in
I need to buy. I'm going to buy another one too. I want to buy another one because I think the one, I think it's a little tiny bit small for me, but it was my fault because the size it got. So I'm gonna grab one more and I'll send you some pictures.
This is one of my shirts. This is one of my shirts, but it was a mistake and it didn't get a logo.
Oh shit!
So I got it for free. They sent it to me for free. He was like, "Hey, I just threw it in a box because somehow it made it through the print line and never got a logo on it." I was like,
"We got story time coming up, ladies and gents." Experience Precision says this is off topic, but Ruger built a batch of Marlin 4570s and they are so nice. You can get them now, but it's going to run you 1,400 bones.
That's funny because my story that I was going to tell tonight revolves around a 4570 rifle.
Nice.
That is fucking hilarious.
Change injected to impregnate. Impregnate sounds more enjoyable with the lube. Yes, I actually agree because I like impregnating my knives.
You're a sick fucking bastard. Did your old lady just flip out? Hey, what are you talking about?
The 2 bones, Neeves, Psycho Knife Doctor. Thank you, brother. Thank you for the 2 bones. Okay, so they're not in stock right now, but they will be in stock on OCD for EDC. The link was in the chat. You can go to his website. He will have them up soon. He's waiting for some more. He's sold out, but he's going to have them back. Here we go. Smells like oil and grease. So if you like that smell, then you're going to be good to go. There you go. Well, to be honest, all oil smells like oil and grease. KPL is the one that doesn't. All the rest do. So
I will tell you, Tough Glide. Tough Glide is the worst. Tough Glide is a dry film lubricant, and you would use it on your OTFs. That's what a lot of people recommended.
Yeah, I got some of that.
Dude, that shit stinks and like forever.
Yeah, your fucking whole house will smell like that.
Right? I put it in my knife one time, and I opened up my case and left my case open. And
this isn't like that.
And we walked in the house. We were like, "Good God, what's that smell?" Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, I know what that is. Never mind."
You'll taste it. I mean, you'll just get over everything. Yeah,
it's everywhere. And I was like, 2 drops, 2 drops of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And the
do
whole
something kind for somebody. Zach Stuff. Shout out to Zach Stuff. Go and follow his channel.
Zach has that.
Dudes in the community. Thank you, Zach, for the 5 bones.
I've got one for you. So Zach has that.
Zach
has the do something kind for someone. And I kind of went the other direction.
And shout out to Knife Sergeant. Definitely go and follow his channel as well. Here is a link to it.
So he has his do something kind for someone.
Yeah.
Right.
Fuck everyone. Oh man. Somebody's gonna build a soundboard one day full of those gems. All right, so first part of story time is on Mike. So we are going to clear the way for Mike Emler to tell his story, and then we will do my story.
All right. Well, we gotta get it. Oh shit! You're gonna give me.
Oh wait, go ahead. Get yourself ready. I like to get myself.
Oh, I'm ready. I just needed to.
Cheers to you, by the way.
I just needed to touch it up a bit. So when I was in high school, I had a friend that had gotten a DUI, right?
Oh shit!
He'd had an accident. We went to it was a big, I forget, it was an after football party or something. And he drove home drunk, had a bad accident, got hurt real bad. Luckily, he was okay. And so I would give this guy a ride home from school, and because his house was just down the road from ours. And so one day I was taking him out, and like, this is in the country. I grew up in a town of like 124 people. And so this is out in the middle of nowhere. And I see this big possum. Like, it's after school. So it's coming up on, towards summer. Like it's coming up on fall. I mean, it's getting dark earlier and shit. So this possum was out way earlier than I thought. And I was driving my dad's car that day, and he had this really, really nice Malibu Classic that had like the canvas top, the vinyl top, and they had a big seam down the middle. You know what I'm talking about? And so it had this big seam down the middle. It's a nice. He had spent a lot of money to trade his car out. And so in the back, in a gun case, was his 45-70 rifle. And I see this big possum. I'm going to shoot this possum. And so I get the knife. It wasn't really moving. It was kind of just sitting on a log and just sitting there. And you could see this big fat possum. I'm like, I'm going to shoot that possum. And so I stop the car, and I get the gun out, and I open up the case, and I load it, and I sit on the driver's side door. Right. I'm sitting on the driver's side door, and I'm across the car, and I'm looking at this possum, and I drew a bead, and I didn't think about the fact that my buddy is sitting right underneath me, right underneath this. And I fired that gun, 45-70, it's got some kick, and it knocked me.
Yeah, it does.
It knocked me clear. It knocked me clear out onto my back on the ground next to the car. And my buddy gets out screaming. He's like, my ears are bleeding. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I get up and I stand up, and I was rattled. I can't hear anything except my buddy screaming. And I look at the top of the car, and there is right at the seam, right before the seam, there is this burnt V on this white vinyl top from the muzzle blast. And then where the seam was, the muzzle blast had caught that seam and ripped a big chunk of the vinyl loose.
Oh.
And I was like,
oh
no. And so my dad was a cop. And so I drop my buddy off, and I drive home, and my mother, and I knew I was in super, super deep shit, because my mother came out, and she looked at my father's car, because my car wouldn't start. That's why I drove my dad's baby. I drove his weekend fun car. And I was like, I get out of the car and she sees it and she looks at me and she just shakes her head and walks inside. And I was like, oh, I am so dead. And so my dad got home that afternoon and I'm upstairs. And this is one of those times where I was just waiting for me to get home. Like, I know I'm going to get beat. And so this dude comes home from the jail. He was working afternoons. And so I hear him pull up and I look at him out my bedroom window. I could see in front. And my dad is looking at this car and he's just looking at it. He's tipping his head. He's looking at it. And he just shakes his head and he looks at it again. And like, he's trying to figure out what the fuck happened. And he's like a dog listening to a high pitched noise. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And so I hear him scream my name, full name, all three names, Michael John Emler. He yells it at the top of his lungs. And I was like, I got to go. Like, I cannot just like mosey down the steps. I got to fucking shoot my ass down there. And as he's yelling my name, he's stripping stuff off of that big, wide leather duty belt that sheriff's deputies wear with the basket weave leather. And he's taking shit off of this thing as he's walking. And that man beat me until he was sweaty and pale. Like, it after the first like 2 minutes, it didn't hurt anymore. Like,
he was out of breath.
The first couple minutes, it hurt. After that, my ass just was hot and numb. Yeah. And I was just like, he was just beating, like, it was like beating a log.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was honestly worried about his health because he was like wheezing and sweaty. And I was like, my dad is going to beat me until he has a heart attack. And I was like,
into a heart attack.
Until he just got tight. He put the belt down. He's like, go to your fucking room. And I was like, no problem. I went to bed and I laid down and I felt so bad. Like, I honestly felt that he had put so much work into that car. And I love my old man.
You were like, I deserve this one. This is one I deserve.
And so you ever heard the phrase, like, I will
There's just some ass kickings you deserve.
Yeah, I had that one coming. And I was like, I was like, you ever heard the phrase, like, I'll beat your ass till you can't sit down?
Yeah.
So I wake up, like, I went to bed and I like to put on some headphones. I went to bed. My ass felt like somebody had lit a fire on it for like the rest of the night. I just went to bed and I went to sleep. And I wake up the next morning to get out of bed and take a shower because I had been sent to bed like right after, like basically early. So I hadn't taken a shower. I hadn't eaten supper. And I rolled over. I was like sleeping on my side. I rolled over. My ass hit the bed and I shot up. My ass hurt. My ass was like black and blue for the entire, like from the where the underwear line is clear down to that line where your cheeks meet your ass cheeks meet your fucking legs. It was like purple. And I went to school and like the whole day I'd be sitting down like, ooh, 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 ooh.
Back when men and boys are boys.
Backward. Yeah.
Your ass real quick.
You know, you separate the men from the boys where I'm from.
Real quick.
With a stick and a hose. Sure.
You might think you're a man until you fucking step up to one.
I was
your
like
ass dragged across the yard.
I was probably 16.
Yeah.
That was my
That's what I mean. That's usually when it happens.
Oh yeah. My dad and I did get into a fight one time and I hit that man one time and it was like I was hitting. It was like hitting a wall. And I was like, he shook his head and I was like, that's everything I had. And he just shook his head.
I did it out of, I was supposed to do it, but I never did it out of like anger, like we're going to fight. I did it out of, we're going to fight because he was like teaching me how to fight type shit.
No, we got it.
He'd walk in. My dad would just walk in and be like, you got 10 seconds. And that 10 seconds meant I had 10 seconds to do whatever I could to stop him because he was about to beat the fucking shit out of me. But it was all out of love, though. It was all out of love. But as soon as that 10 seconds was over, I'm hitting the ceiling, hitting the floor, hitting the fucking wall. He's drop kicking me in the chest.
Well, he and I got into an actual fight the one time just because like it was my birthday and my mother had set up it was right before I left for the Navy. So it was my 17th birthday and I was out drinking with some friends and I just didn't come home. And I show up at like 8:00 the next morning. My mom was at work. My dad should have been at work and he was there. And he's like, get back down here. And he was trying to get me to talk to him. And I just kept telling him I didn't want to talk. I was hungover. I just wanted to go to bed. And he spun me around and we spun me around. I hit him with everything I had and it hurt all the way to my elbow. And I was like, please go down. And that's the last thought I had before I saw him draw back. And then when I woke up, he had a bag of frozen beans on his face. He's all right, let's go get breakfast and talk about this. So it wasn't much of a fight. I hit him with everything I had. I've never hit anyone that hard in my life and not had them go down.
Yeah.
Like it was like I had hit him with a pillow. He just turned his head, shook it, and looked at me. And I was like, I saw the look in his eyes, and I was like, I am so fucked.
Yeah.
I am so fucked right now.
Yeah. All right, so our dads beat our asses all the time. Do you guys know that wombats have squirrel buttholes and they crap out squirrel bits of crap? True. I don't even know what to say to that.
I don't know why you would hey,
How do you know that?
Did you know that female pigeons die after having sex?
I did not know that.
Well, I mean, the one I fucked did anyway.
Oh, I got you. Shaving a hard copy of Shakespeare down the back of your pants so soft. The blows.
Oh.
I'm a psychiatrist. Oh shit. I would not BS you guys and gals. No, I believe you.
Oh, guys, by the way, I don't know if you know this. I'm doing a live feed like directly.
Square or cubed poops. Okay, so my story really quick. So my story actually, I've dragged on a story that I started, and now I'm to the part where I started going into it the last time, the last live I had a guest. But anyways, so I didn't finish the story of the fight I almost got into when I was last locked up in jail. And when I said that, I had to get my shit together and everything else. And I didn't get into a fight, but I didn't tell the story of what happened. So, but I meant to. So what happened was a couple days before this, when I was in there was this guy, and he was like a bully on the floor, the deck, whatever you want to call it. And I seen him like bullying like multiple people, right?
I thought you said bowling. I was like
bullying.
I was like, what's he doing? Like bowling on the dirt?
Extorting people and taking
I got you.
that, right?
I got you.
And I already knew like this fucking guy, like if he talks to me, like I'm not even gonna hesitate. I'm just gonna fuck his ass up. Like, because I see what he's doing to people, right? So I felt like there was no choice. And like I had been waiting for this moment. This is why I almost got into the fight, because the last time I told the story, I had explained that I was about to get out. And then I almost got into this fight with this person, and the whole subject got into it with me and Kara. We were talking about it, that people will do that to you because they're jealous that you're going to get out. So they'll try to prevent you from getting out by getting you into some shit, and then you'll get into some shit, and then you'll get locked up for or wind up getting a full case again, and you'll be in prison, right? When you're literally getting out. So it's like, this is
if you fight a fight in jail is if I remember right, that's an automatic felony.
It depends on the jail and everything. So it depends. And there is times where you just get into it. Like I've gotten into it and nothing happened. Like they put me in lockdown basically. And so it does depend. But when you just got done seeing the judge, you fucked up. Like if you think you just seen the judge and now you get into a fight, that judge is going to fuck you up.
Oh,
like
he's going to eat your fucking lunch.
He's gonna look at you like you're dumb. Like, what are you doing here, man? You're supposed to be out on the streets, and you're back in front of me right now. So, but what happened was like I said, days before that, I had seen him like taking people's food and doing all this shit, and it steamed me, man. Like I'm not gonna stick up for these dudes, right? Because I don't know them, but like to me, it was like if he fucking even comes close to me, like I'm just gonna go crazy, and so he'd already kind of been like on my radar of like if me and him get into anything, like, I got to handle it accordingly. Right. I have no choice. Like there's no choice. I'm not going to walk around here like these guys. So, and I had already said it like to the guys that I was with, like fucking, if you see me talking to this dude, just know like I'm about to throw down with him. And
Pounds tools, I was never in jail. I was usually the guy that was sending people to jail.
And
so completely opposite sides.
So anyways, I go to court. This is the last day, right? So what happens is the last day, if you have court early in the morning, not everybody's doors get opened up, only the person that's going to court, which is usually only a couple people. So my door gets opened up for me to take a shower and get ready to go to court. And so no other doors are opened. And he's actually a dorm cleaner. So he's going around.
He's a trustee. So
he's a trustee. Right. He's a trustee. So he has a little bit of pull too. And he's a fucking prick. And he's bullying people. And he's extorting people. And he's doing all this shit. So anyway, so
it's just a general.
He's out walking the pod. And I am about to get ready to go to court and everything. And I go to court. And when I come back, or no, I haven't gone to court yet. I think I'm about to go to court, if I can remember correctly. And my door's open. I go take a shower. Well, he decides to mouth off to me, like when I'm about to take a shower and everything. And like the moment happened, right? The moment happened. You're fucking talking to me. So now, like, and he did it in a way that was disrespectful. So I just fucking went ape shit and started like talking shit to him.
I'm
like,
coming at you like a spider monkey.
Well, no, it was just like let's throw down right here, you know. So I wound up being stupid. I'm ripping my shirt off and like looking like an idiot, probably. I don't know. But I ripped my shirt off the fight because I don't want my shirt on fighting them too, especially when you're in, because the gear you're in, like it's very loose gear, you know. So you don't really want to be fighting in that. So to me, it was like, get this fucking shirt off right now.
Then it becomes a choking. Like he's gonna like, be able to guillotine choke.
And I know that like shit, so I ain't fucking around like that. So he starts talking shit, thinking I'm just gonna like cower. We're thinking like I'm just gonna back down, and I just started going crazy. Like let's, you know, like I started telling him to come, because this is the thing, is that like when the guard's right there, you don't fight out in the dorm. You fight in the rooms. So I invited him in my room. Like, come in here, motherfucker, right? Because if he doesn't come in, then he's a bitch. That's the way that goes, right? You're a bitch if you're not going to come, if you're going to talk shit to me and not come in my room. And he was refusing to come in. Like he got up to the doors and was refusing to come in. And I'm begging him now because I can see he's like starting to get worried. Like this dude might just fuck me up. And he needs his full
I backed the wrong pony.
Nobody else can really see it though, because the dorm is still shut down. Other people at the doors, they can see it because they're looking out. And like I said, I rip off my shirt. I start talking all kinds of shit, you know. And he won't come in. He won't come in. And finally, and you know what's crazy though? The whole time, the fucking guard was watching, just sitting there.
Was he grinning? The guard was like, I want to see what happens.
Like, I'm about to see some shit.
Well, he's like, I'm missing Sunday football this week. This is
right. He's like, I'm gonna watch something. So but yeah, then I like I said, he didn't wind up fucking coming in there. And then he basically wound up running away though, because then because then I came out of my cell. Like, fuck it, then we're gonna fight right here. And I came out of the cell and he took off, like kind of running towards his cell, not like running, but you know, like walking off fast, like getting out of there, because he knows like I'm about to put hands on him. And he just got out of there. And I actually was very thankful for that, because I'm happy. I did not want anything to happen. I just didn't know at the time, like that for sure I was gonna get out, because I was going to court to get out. But I had 50-50. I had a 50-50 shot. Now, if I went to court after a fight, I have zero chance.
Zero. Yeah, you're not going anywhere.
Zero fucking chance I'm getting.
Well, I mean, maybe. I mean, it depends on the guard, what the guard says and everything.
Right. It depends on the guard. But I'm the guy going crazy at that point.
Yeah.
So I would have been the antagonizer probably. The guard probably didn't hear what he said to me first. I don't know. But all I know is that 98% chance of not getting out versus 50-50.
Yeah.
But Kara was pissed afterwards, and this is what we talked about last week or week before, was that, you know, like when you do things like that, you have to think about your family and everything and how you're affecting them when you make decisions like that.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking about, I have a good chance I'm coming back. And if I come back with a reputation of letting him disrespect me, that's not
going to work. Yeah, exactly. I mean,
you can't let that happen.
No,
you can't let that happen. You have to stand up for yourself, no matter what. Even if you get your ass beat, you have to stand up.
Well, here's the thing. It's like a completely different scenario, but like living on a ship in the Navy, same thing. Like you're living with 80 other dudes. If somebody disrespects you, like it depends on how you handle it. You're not going to get in a fight, but you got to retaliate somehow. Like the time I told the story to the guys on my channel, I shit inside a guy's pillow and sewed it shut.
The fuck is wrong with you, man?
Who, me?
The fuck did you just say you shouldn't?
Yeah, I cut a dude's pillow open. I took a shit in it. I sewed it back shut, because feather pillows, they don't have that foam, that flammable foam. And I put it back on his bed. And for like he fucked with me enough that I was like, all right, I got to retaliate or I'm going to look soft. And so the guys saw me do it. And I told everybody, I was like,
everybody just canceled their future bunking with you.
I told everyone, I was like, if he finds out, I know who knows that I did this, and I'm gonna fuck all of you up.
Right.
But like, so for the next 4 or 5 nights, like I would hear him like get in his rack and he would lay down and he's like, because it was inside the pillow. And so when the air would come out of the pillow, he's like,
no.
what the fuck is that smell? Yeah.
Oh, no.
So
oh,
the pink eye bandit.
Man.
So, well, hey, I'll tell you what. I love this. It's always fun. I love when you come on my channel, and I like coming on your channel. But I have a live feed on my channel in like
6 minutes.
6 minutes.
I know you do. I know you do. If you want to take off, go ahead and take off. And then
I'm gonna take off. If you guys want to join me and try to initiate some pain on my part, if we hit $400 in super chats, this is my primary case. Thing is horrible. Did you hear the squeak? And now I'm wearing headphones. Listen to this.
Did you ever hold pockets? All right. Did you ever hold pockets on the seaman ship, Mike? Do you get that? Like prison pockets where you walk around with somebody's pocket, hanging onto somebody's pocket.
No, I know what you mean. Like but actually that we do something close when you're doing like firefighting training in a dark space. Like you hold on to the guy in front of you, like you hold on to his belt. And that's how you walk through the space if you don't have a fire hose. Yeah. So if you don't have a fire hose that you're all attached to. And so the guy in front is stomping to make sure, because like if you're down in the engineering spaces and there's a fire, maybe the decks, because they're like diamond plate, but they're hollow. They're like the tread, like diamond tread where it's open. And so the guy that's leading the charge into the space is stomping in front, so you can hear that he's leading the charge. And then if you feel like the line go, but if you're not doing that, like you're investigating and you don't have a hose, if you're not a hose team, you hold on to each other at the belt. And then there's one guy that's at the door with a line that's wrapped around the last man's waist, and you're giving like signals, like tugging and things like that. Like, and a long, hard tug means that they fell through, shit like that. So it's different, but you do the same thing, like something like that. Right. So, but, yeah, I'm going to bounce out. Jared, once again, thank you for having me on the channel. Thanks for all the advice you've given me. It's definitely benefited.
Oh, dude, anytime, man. I'm always here. And that goes for anybody else, man. Anybody else. You guys can always contact me. I'm more than happy to give tell anything I do, right?
Yeah. Guys, feel free to stop by my live feed. I'm going to drink some whiskey.
Yeah. I'm going
to drink whiskey and tell some lies. So
there you go. He's going to be a fisherman tonight.
I'm out, Jared. Thanks again. I appreciate it.
All right, brother. Take it easy, man.
Later.
See you later. All right, guys, we're going to spend about 4 more minutes in here, and then we'll hopefully one of the moderators can link Mike Emler's live over there so that people can get over there. Hopefully he'll have it set up in the next minute or two. Does it come in pink? Jared, the best communicator in the knife community. Bang, gang, bang, gang, bang, gang. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And I do try to make these lives as interesting as possible. Usually when I have people on, I don't write down like the topics I want to talk about, especially when it's like Mike, because me and him talk all the time anyways. But if it's like a new person, then I will. But when it's just me, I like to write down the topics that I want to talk about that you guys have asked me questions about, or things like that, or whatever, just to make it on like kind of like a scheduled live of topics. Always make it for story time, even if I can't be here the whole time. That's awesome, Daniel. Thank you, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I like story time too. It's always a good time. Kyle says, Jared, I forgot my note with that package. Did you get my last email? If you sent it, I got your email. I'll just do me a favor, Kyle, and make sure send another one just in case so I can screenshot it, or I'll remember that you forgot the note and I'll write one in there and throw one in there. I'd like to make sure people leave notes because it makes it to where I can keep it with the stuff so I don't mix it up with anybody else's. And then I have direct, because you guys have no idea how hard it is sometimes to remember somebody's email or Instagram. Like to try to find it is impossible. So there's times where like, because I'm supposed to send you guys pictures of my finished work. And if I can't find your Instagram or email, I just have to mail it back to you when I'm done. And it makes it impossible for me to contact you. So, but I'll remember that, Kyle. No problem. I'm dyslexic sharp. Okay. I'm blind as a motherfucker. I need to get me some glasses. I'll be able to read these chats a lot better. No, I just mean I was going to send a note with the donation sharpener. Oh, I thought you meant you had stuff sent in for sharpening. Okay. Yeah, no, I got it. And no, there was not a note, but I do if you left me an email, I sent you an email back thanking you for it. So if you sent me another one since then, but no, yesterday or the day before, I sent you an email thanking you for that. So I don't know if you sent me one since then, but no, Kyle is the one who donated the sharpener for the Bang Gang members. So we got that going on Sunday. We're going to give that to one of the members. That'll be awesome. We got a lot of members now, so it's incredible that the membership has grown for sharpening, and we're going to be able to do a lot of really cool things in there with as many members as we have now. So what's up, everyone? Coming in late? Yes, you are. We're going to go over to Mike Emler's as soon as he starts. We are going to throw up a link to his channel. Hopefully a bunch of other people will jump over there with us, because I'm going to jump over there. I'm going to try to donate some cash, try to get him up so we can get him to carry that piece of shit knife. Yep, he's on there right now. It looks like. Can somebody give me a link to Mike Emler's live that just went up? Can one of you guys please give me a link? I would really appreciate it in the chat. And then we'll jump over. Okay, here we go. Breeze. Thank you, Breeze. Here is the link. Follow that link over to Mike Emler's channel. And don't forget, guys, we have some major giveaways coming up really soon. Patrons, if you're a patron member and you have not entered the giveaway for the patron members, make sure you enter. There's still a few people that haven't done that. Thank you to everybody who shows up. Thank you to everybody who donates. The donations are always appreciated. They go right back into the channel. Thank you guys for that. Thank you to all the moderators who helped me do this. Thank you to my cousin Breeze. Thank you to all the patron members, all the Bang Gang members, and everybody who shows me love in the comments, everybody who sticks around and does have a conversation with me. Shout out to all you guys. I love you guys. Peace.